Welcome to Shadowproof. Evidence first, noise last.
One day, over 500 years ago, an old man sat writing a diary with his shoemaker's hands. In this diary, with a consistent writing style from start to finish, he reflected all the writings. This is the first clue he left for future time, because he wanted to tell people that what is seen before the eyes may not be the full appearance of things. And there are hidden depths beneath the surface. In fact, this old man spent his entire life doing many things that ordinary people could hardly understand. For example, centuries ahead of his time, he sketched designs for gliders, parachutes, and even had ideas for helicopters. But these things are nothing, because compared to these inventions, he had even more important secrets to pass on to posterity. And these secrets are hidden in his rare paintings. He is Leonardo da Vinci, the author of the famous painting Mona Lisa. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, it's 2017. At this moment, the world's most intense auction is being held in New York, USA's most expensive single artwork. If including procedural fees, the total price of this artwork would reach $450 million. And the reason this person was willing to pay any price to buy this painting is not simply because it is a work by Da Vinci. What he truly values is the hidden code in this painting, because it contains the exact location of heaven. It turns out that in Da Vinci's final diary, he recorded a mystical experience of his own. In this experience, he wandered into a cave and, passing through it, arrived in another world. There, he saw how the future world would develop, even traveled back in time and witnessed Jesus Christ firsthand, thus learning the specific location of heaven. This topic is very special, In many previous videos, we have mentioned Nikola Tesla. Many of the things we use today are related to his inventions. Therefore, some have called him the man closest to a god. However, I know that hundreds of years before Nikola Tesla was born, history also saw a rare genius like Da Vinci. If Nikola Tesla is the man closest to a god, then without a doubt, Da Vinci is a god living among mortals. However, because the era he was born in was so distant, modern people have almost forgotten him. It wasn't until 1913, after a painting called Mona Lisa was stolen and recovered, that people began to pay attention. The smile, yet not quite a smile, of the woman in the painting is extremely mysterious. It made some people start to wonder who this woman really is and what she is smiling about. And behind that enigmatic smile, could there be hidden secrets? And so, with the aim of unraveling the mystery of Mona Lisa's identity, people began to research Da Vinci, the author of this painting. Without research, it's fine, but upon researching, they discovered that Da Vinci not only had an extremely high level of painting skill, but he was even a polymath. He was not only proficient in mathematics, astronomy, anatomy, and physics, but also in civil engineering and architecture. But could one person truly master so many fields in the short span of a lifetime? To find the answer to this question, we need to go back in time to the year 1402. That year, Da Vinci was born. He was the illegitimate son of Piero da Vinci and the peasant woman Caterina. Since Piero was a prominent local official, although Da Vinci's status was not recognized, he still received a very good education. His teacher at the time, Andrea del Verrocchio, was an extremely famous sculptor. However, even with a great teacher guiding him, Da Vinci before 1476 was a very ordinary person. Yet, for some unknown reason, after 1478, he suddenly transformed into a polymath. That is to say, during the 2-year period from 1476 to 1478, something must have happened to Da Vinci that caused him to begin creating explosively. Strangely, scholars have searched all documents but found no related records. Fortunately, in the end, an astonishing discovery was made in one of Da Vinci's handwritten manuscripts. In an autobiography, Da Vinci described that in 1476, the year he went missing, Da Vinci, who was fascinated by the natural world at the time, ventured alone into the deep mountains and during this process discovered a deep cave. Because the cave was deep and dark, at first when he entered, he did not want to go further. But just as Da Vinci was about to give up, he suddenly heard a mysterious voice, urging him to continue forward. Thus, guided by this voice, he passed through the cave and ultimately stayed there for 2 years. In this manuscript, Da Vinci particularly emphasized that this experience was extremely important to him, to the extent that some began to speculate that the cave was definitely not an ordinary cave. The end of the cave might very well be the underground world mentioned in legends. Or perhaps the cave itself is a space-time tunnel, a wormhole leading to the future. Many of Da Vinci's later inventions may have been seen by him there. Of course, this is merely speculation by exploration enthusiasts. But strangely, besides his era-defying inventions, Da Vinci also painted many people with peculiar appearances. These individuals have high foreheads and elongated, narrow. We all know that Da Vinci was a person who always pursued perfection. In many paintings, we can see how perfectly Da Vinci depicted the emotions of his subjects. So why would he create paintings with such completely different styles? Could it be that Da Vinci had personally witnessed those long-headed people? Strangest of all, some scholars discover that in Da Vinci's paintings, there indeed are figures with bizarre appearances. However, they are all hidden. In 1502, Leonardo da Vinci was already 50 years old. He received an invitation to paint a portrait of Lisa del Giocondo, the wife of. However, he did not know that this would be a work he could never abandon. According to scholars' research, the painting of this work lasted as long as 16 years. During those 16 years, Da Vinci continuously sketched on paper, only to erase and redraw. So what in this painting made Da Vinci value it so highly? In 2004, a research team led by Pascal Kahn, after using the most advanced equipment at the time to scan the Mona Lisa, discovered that there were as many as 4 layers of sketches on the painting. Even an Italian expert, Silvano Vincetti, used a similar method. He discovered the number 72 under the bridge, behind Mona Lisa. Vincetti said that upon discovering the number 72, he was both surprised and delighted, because this meant it was absolutely not an ordinary painting. Sure enough, Vincetti later discovered the letter S in Mona Lisa's left eye and the letter L in her right eye. But what do these letters represent? With this question, Vincetti continued his investigation. In the end, he found that the bridge in the painting is very likely the Ponte Alto, Hunchback Bridge. This bridge was built during Roman times, once destroyed by floods and rebuilt in 1472. And the number under the bridge in the Mona Lisa painting is precisely 72. This means that this number combination indeed has significance. Perhaps he was implying that every detail in the painting has a special meaning. And if that is the case, then what do the letters S and L mean? In subsequent investigations, some suggested that S and L might hint at the true identity of the subject in the painting. S wife, but rather Da Vinci. Because the initials of Solar are SL. S identity in this way was due to the society. Therefore, Da Vinci could only leave clues in the painting to express his feelings for his beloved. In fact, when comparing Solar's portrait with the Mona Lisa, we can see they are indeed very similar. My Solar. Coincidentally, in Da Vinci's will, he instructed that after his death, the Mona Lisa should be given to Solar. Besides the mystery of the letters in the painting, some scholars have suggested that Da Vinci wrote in mirror writing to remind people that only after mirroring his paintings can we see the secrets he truly intended to convey. Strangely, after people mirrored the Mona Lisa, they indeed discovered that when the two images were overlaid, an unidentified creature wearing a steel helmet could be seen. At that time, this incident caused quite a stir. Some believed it was merely a coincidence. But strangely, such coincidences kept occurring. The Virgin and Child with Saint Anne and Saint John the Baptist. T help but say it resembles Anakin Skywalker from The Virgin and Child with Saint Anne. It's important to note that Da Vinci, among such a small number of paintings, the steel-helmeted creature appears frequently. Is this really just a coincidence? When it comes to Da Vinci's paintings, besides the Mona Lisa, there is another very famous one, which is the Last Supper. The painting The Last Supper took place in the year 33 AD, when Jesus suddenly gathered his 12 disciples to have supper together. During that supper, Jesus told those present that among them was one who had betrayed him. As soon as he finished speaking, all those present were astonished, whispering to each other, suspecting one another, not knowing who the betrayer of the Lord was. As the Last Supper is like a photograph, faithfully capturing everyone. In this fresco, Jesus spreads his arms wide, sitting in the center, with an expression that seems to see through everything. The remaining disciples are grouped in threes within the painting. Since Da Vinci left no record of who the betrayer Judas is in the painting, all viewers can only rely on clues in the painting to find the betrayer. And this is also where Da Vinci's skill shines, because this painting is not just for appreciation. In fact, Da Vinci is using the painting to interact with all viewers. Therefore, regarding who the betrayer is, there are many interpretations. The most common view is that the second person from the right of Jesus is the betrayer Judas, because this person is holding a bag of 30 silver coins, obtained by betraying the Lord. Besides this person, the one sitting next to him is also suspected of being a betrayer, because he is holding a knife. And while everyone is focused on studying the Last Supper, some notice that the person sitting to the right of Jesus looks a bit strange. People have always thought that the person sitting next to the Lord must be his beloved disciple, John. However, John is male, but the person before us looks unmistakably female. We can even notice that, apart from this mysterious figure, all others present either have beards or broad shoulders. Only this person lacks male characteristics. Even more strangely, after adjusting the positions, it appears that Jesus and this person fit perfectly together. Even the angles of their clothing match excellently. Even the folds of their garments align. And the positions of their arms overlap, as if their fingers are intertwined. So, who exactly is this person? After people discovered that there might be a mysterious woman in the Last Supper, more and more joined the discussion. Some believe that the mysterious woman is likely Mary Magdalene, a follower of Jesus who was always by his side. Therefore, some also speculate that she might have been Jesus' companion on earth. And the reason Da Vinci could know this is because he was present there himself. But how could that be? When the Last Supper took place, Da Vinci wasn't even born yet, so how could he have been present? Before answering this question, let's look at another astonishing discovery. A few years ago, an expert studying the Last Supper noticed that only one side of the tablecloth appears to have a knot. The researcher believes this might be Da Vinci hinting once again that the painting needs to be mirrored. Because only after mirroring the painting do both sides of the table. Surprisingly, when this is done, Da Vinci appears in the Last Supper. Even more strangely, Da Vinci even makes a hand gesture symbolizing the Illuminati. Of course, this could also just be a coincidence, because according to historical records, the Illuminati did not exist in the 15th century. However, some scholars of mysticism offer a different perspective. For example, Dan Brown, author of the Da Vinci Code, suggests that Da Vinci might have been a member of the Freemasons, because the Freemasons had been established long before. Moreover, Vitruvius, the man in Da Vinci's famous handwritten manuscript, the Vitruvian Man, was merely an ancient Roman architect during his life. The Freemasons is an organization founded by a group of stonemasons. Some even believe that Vitruvius was the first Grand Master of the Freemasons. Back then, Da Vinci not only depicted the Grand Master of the Freemasons but also drew a square and a circle in the painting. Ordinary people might think this gesture is demonstrating the perfect proportions of the human eye. But those that don't understand that to draw perfect proportions, one must use a ruler and compass. And these two tools are precisely the symbols of the Freemasons. Also the ultimate goal of the Freemasons, which is to achieve a perfect world. It turns out that the teachings of the Freemasons, on a micro level, the square represents the body, and the circle represents the soul. On a macro level, the square represents the material world, and the circle represents the spiritual world. And the goal of Freemasonry is to create a perfect world, where the material and spiritual worlds are no longer in opposition. That's why the Vanji tried to paint the subject with such perfect proportions. Perhaps to express respect for Freemasonry. Let's return to Chan. Besides believing that Da Vinci is very likely a member of Freemasonry, Queen Corp also believes that during the cave journey in 1476, Da Vinci traveled through time and witnessed Jesus' Last Supper, which is how he knew Mary Magdalene was present, and also knew the emotions of everyone at that time. He even knew that when the Last Supper took place, it was still daylight, and that Da Vinci's ability to travel through time via the cave was thanks to the help of a mysterious force. Because when the paintings are overlaid, people see a strange creature. In 1953, Da Vinci began painting the final work of his life. This is the last piece he left for posterity. Fans believe Da Vinci used this painting to convey the location of the holy relic. On this piece, Da Vinci painted only one person, Saint John the Baptist. According to the Bible's description, before Jesus was born, God sent the messenger John to the world. He is a witness to the light, so that people would believe in Jesus' coming. Thus, in this painting, Saint John stands alone in the darkness. When suddenly a beam of light appears, through this light, we can even glimpse the cross behind him. At this moment, Saint John raises his hand, as if to say this light comes from heaven. But what is in heaven? Indeed, after reflecting the image, people unexpectedly see the figure of an alien. Besides Saint John, there is another painting often discussed. That is the Virgin of the Rocks. Some noticed that in this painting, the Virgin's 5 fingers are spread and curved downward, as if touching an invisible head. It's important to know that Leonardo da Vinci was a perfectionist. Every detail in his paintings was meticulously designed. So why are the Virgin's fingers spread, hovering in midair? Could it be that he is hinting at something invisible hidden in the painting? Sure enough, after adjusting the image, people see another scene. And this composite image is extremely similar to the original composite image. This leads some to speculate, could Leonardo da Vinci have actually seen aliens? And in the past, with the help of aliens, he saw another world, even knowing where the holy relic is. And now, he is trying to share the information he knows with us? I know this thought sounds hard to believe. But unexpectedly, researchers found the light source in Leonardo da Vinci's paintings. Salvator Mundi. But did you know, there was a time when this painting was considered a low-value work? It wasn't until 2011 that experts confirmed it as a work by Leonardo da Vinci himself. After that, people began to notice a suspicious point. In the painting, Jesus' right hand raises 3 fingers, symbolizing the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. His left hand holds a crystal orb, symbolizing the earth, and the oddity lies in this crystal orb. Normally, a crystal orb would refract, so when looking through it, objects behind would appear distorted. For a perfectionist like Leonardo da Vinci, this seems like an unacceptable flaw. However, in da Vinci's painting, light and shadow are depicted with extreme perfection. This means the flaw in a glass orb might have been intentionally created by da Vinci. His true purpose was likely to draw people's attention to the 3 white dots on a glass orb. Currently, many scholars believe these 3 white dots represent the constellation Orion. Coincidentally, Egypt's 3 famous pyramids also correspond to the constellation Orion. In Egyptian mythology, after death, humans cross over to the other world to attain eternal life, and that other world is believed to be located in the constellation Orion. Could it be that the location of the constellation Orion is heaven, where the gods reside? Not only that, Argentine artist José Alfredo de Andrés discovered that when the painting is flipped vertically, we see 2 images of the Savior. The left image symbolizes humanity living on earth. The right image symbolizes the gods in heaven. Interestingly, on the image representing humans, we can see an arrow pointing upward. Scholars believe this indicates the location containing the truth. Next, this strange symbol represents the false god. Below that is human DNA, and finally a human skull. We can even see an unclosed fontanelle, symbolizing a newborn human. As for the image representing the gods, first we see an object resembling the holy. Next, this oval shape is considered by some scholars to represent the Big Bang in the universe. Then comes the DNA of the gods. Unlike humans, the DNA of the gods can connect with the universe, while human DNA is closed off, as we cannot connect with the universe. Finally, we see the face of an alien in their skull, which is completely closed. In other words, according to this scholar's interpretation, Da Vinci is not only telling people that the gods live in the constellation Orion, but also explaining the fundamental difference between humans and gods. That is, our DNA cannot connect with the universe. So, is this the difference between humans and gods after all? What do you all think? Do you believe that Da Vinci's painting truly contains hidden codes? Do you believe he once traveled through time? Please share and discuss your opinions. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, subscribe to catch the next videos. Or if you have time, you can watch more videos on this channel.
If the proof convinced you, subscribe and open the next case.